Hey, I'm Ivan Blackstock, and today we're going to be discussing gender equality. And on our panel, we have Jade Hackett, Shannelle Fergus, aka Tali, and Clara Bajado. Due to more styles, such as, for instance, like whacking and voguing, where I don't feel like I need to, I don't know, do some crazy windmill or a style basically that they can feel like themselves instead of dancing like a boy.
I think it's the other way around. Yeah. I think it's when you've got females in popping and females in breaking, that styles that are synonymous with male dancers, that's where there's a uplifting of female support. Yeah. When a female has gone into a male-dominated industry. So, although whacking and voguing are next-level expert dances, or styles, sorry, should I say, I feel like they are synonymous with either gay men or females. That's the styles that those two groups, social groups, are the people that are, stereotyped to do that style of dance. So, and I feel like as time's been going on, there's been a uprising of young females that are trying to go into more male-dominated industries, and I think for me that's where I've kind of started to see it lifting. I'm talking about the female appreciation thing, lifting, especially in the battle community. Yeah. I think it's there's a few more females starting to come up, and people like Sharifa talk more like, even like B-boy champs, she made quarter, I think, or semi-final. And she got down to the last.
Females like Paris and
Paris, April, Natalie, Naomi, Gianna G. Like there's loads of females that are going into it, and they're representing all aspects of the dance and not just staying in their lane, if that makes sense. So,
but I think that what makes the difference as well is that I think that since few years now, females are less scared to embrace their femininity within their dance. So it doesn't mean like not only like looking feminine, but using their feminine
curves and
because obviously like loads have been trained by male, trained with male as well, and so you're mimicking that motion. And I think that since few years, like girls, they're aware of dancing like girls without like looking corny or not strong enough, and they're making that femininity side their strength.
Have you experienced any inequality as a female within the dance industry?
If you put me in a position where I have to think about it, then I will point that moment. But first, I've been mainly mentored by men that pushed me as a woman. Never because as I said, like when you start, you mimic, and I was mimicking my eldest, and at some point they were like, "Yeah, but you're a girl," and even that for me to not to realize it, but to be aware, like, yeah, I know I'm a girl, but to embody it within my system, it was like, yeah, I know I'm a girl, it's fine. But they were like, yeah, but now move like a girl. But for me, it was something like, yeah, I'm a girl, so I'm moving like a girl, But for them, it's like, no, because you're learning from male. So, but within the industry and within my journey till now, like I never felt like an energy that was making me feel like, oh, you're lower because you're a girl, or you're less good because you're a girl.
I feel like I felt the opposite, like it's like you're really good for a girl. That's the kind of general consensus that you sometimes hear. And
you heard that?
yeah, when I used to be back in my kind of dance crew days, especially being in Unity, where the group kind of really wanted to try and do all these, represent as many styles as possible, it was kind of like you had the key people that always did the breaking section or the popping section, and it was just like, because you're a female that can pop, it's like, whoa, do you know what I mean? And it's like,
Front
well,
center.
they put you front and center because it's kind of like, it's kind of almost, if we're honest as well, a little bit, it's kind of like what the initial appeal with people like Skittles was, because she was female in that time, popping, and her pops are ridiculous, like crazy hard, and you know what I mean? Like, she showed strength, but if it was a male doing it, I don't think Skittles as a man would be as great. It's because of the fact that she was a female.
Any inequality that I experienced, I think, was self-imposed. Like, I chose to take a back seat in the collective or circles that I was in and thought that I wasn't equal. But I think that's less to do with because I was a woman as just where I was in my journey. But then if I do look back, there might have been some subconscious things in there. So I was one of very few women in the, that little subculture, little community, and maybe I felt that I wasn't as good. But now I still feel like one of few women in my little niche of the community, but I feel it's, my gender is like a reinforcement and a positive. I've never really felt inequality. And earlier asking Jade about if she feels regularly that she is a woman in these spaces, I've never really, I own my womanhood more now than ever, but coming through, it was never really a thing that I thought about, actually. Don't know if that was an ignorance or just I didn't see it as an issue.
Because I know for me, especially as a male choreographer, I use a lot of female to help me create my work, you know, and I'm not too sure if it's a thing where subconsciously I know they have this kind of...
Sixth sense.
There we go. Or this nurturing kind of feel, you know, so I know sometimes I can be very like this, but I need a female energy to balance me out. Are men doing their part to help, or not really, or is it up to us to also, you know, be like, okay, here's the opportunity, do you think? Or do you think there are opportunities and there are spaces, well, there are spaces for females, but
not enough trust. There's place, there's opportunities, there's a lot of things. I think there's less trust. I think for me, it's what makes the difference. And why you have like more, and I'm going out like from the dance, yeah? Even out from artistic branch. But yeah, just society is just trust. It's just like, maybe this society is more aware of how a male could be consistent, you know, maybe less emotional. Loads of layers of a womanhood, you know. But I mean, like, it's changing, and I think that maybe male have help, but I think that female help themselves as well, you know.
Men by nature are possibly more likely to not really know what they're doing or what they want to say, but they will put themselves in the front line regardless, whereas I think maybe women are more likely to figure that out in the background be sure of what they've got to say, how they want to say it, and then put themselves forward. And maybe that's what's changed. Maybe women are now more, I know I've got to say something, I'm going to get out there and figure it out whilst doing it, rather than just hiding in the shadows and waiting to have it all together.
Producers and somewhat promoters within the kind of dance, theatre realm, they're mostly women. So why are they not giving opportunities to women?
But as people who are giving you opportunities, why they're not giving us opportunities?
Say that again?
As the people who are giving you opportunities, why they're not giving us opportunities?
I can't really ask that question, you know, that's what I'm interested in, because you said there's a different support and you do feel supported and it's different. So I'm trying to understand, what is that support?
I guess well, I was talking more specifically about fellow creatives, but now that you say it, I don't know any male producers. All the producers I know are female, so that's, yeah, it's an interesting question.
I do think as well, it's a bit of a catch-22, because I also feel that although we're having a discussion about equality, I do believe in quality, at least. And I don't feel that just because you're a female, that gives you instant access to be able to put work on because you have a vagina. Like, I actually feel like you need to be able to be good, and your work needs to have volume and be saying something or reaching out somewhere, some form. Like, even me, if I was making work and it wasn't of any standard, don't put me forward just because I have breasts. They're nice, but, you know, like, at the end of the day, it might be a reason why that's happening. Not only is there a lack of females coming through, but what females are there, what is the standard and caliber of work that they're producing? This is just questions I'm just throwing out, just, you know. So maybe there is a chance that males are, because they are supported by lots of women underneath them, like what you were saying, men are coming out with more rounded pieces of work, do you get what I mean? That kind of, in general, just has a lot more support around it, as opposed to what women are. Maybe I feel like women, we're still in our very early stages of coming, because there is an awakening, but we're still in our very baby stages of that. So we're still kind of like what Tali was saying, like working out our voice, and then it's coming forward with it, or working it out as we're out at the same time. It's kind of like we're still trying to find our feet as artists and what we actually want to say.
Why is it then that we don't have enough women in certain positions of power?
Trust.
Still trust?
But yeah, because I think the skills are the same. The skills are the same, but it's weird because obviously, like here, like we've all made our way at some point, like in the branch that we chose, but me, I'm more aware of that when I hear like this kind of question, or when I hear like other female like going like, yeah, but it's harder for female, because I didn't find it hard in a way that I put myself out there since I started as an artist. And people that were surrounding me, male or female, didn't make me feel like that it would be harder for you because you're a girl. You know, society, the scene, make me feel that. Like, oh, it's good for a girl. You're dancing well for a girl. You know, like we haven't seen like that much girls. You know, oh, you're doing that much. Yeah, but then those kind of things are the things that make you aware of it. You know, the thing of gender, like especially in dance, even if you think that it's a macho scene, you say macho? A macho scene, there's always been a place for women.
I feel like women just get shit done. And I know women in positions of power, like Michelle behind the scenes at Breaking Convention, Lee with Artists for Artists, yourself with working with Just Taboo and stuff, but you do it without it being necessary to, I'm Clara and I do such and such, or Just Taboo presented by Clara, you know. Then I don't feel like there's as much of a need for us to attach our name and our face to it. It's enough that the work's being done, and there's possibly something in a man, possibly.
So then are you basically saying that there's a level of ego?
Yes.
But I think it's a
interesting.
boy thing of, you know, masculinity of competition, you know, striving for respect.
Do you have
know?
competition against females? Like, what my question is, if females were to arise, really go to our full potential, would that present itself as somewhat intimidating?
For me, no, not at all.
Not for you. I'm talking
But
you. Like we're here talking on behalf of all females. Talk on behalf. Do you think that would prove intimidating?
Yes, because it's different. It's new. And I think us as a society, just in general, once we get set in our ways, this is what the ride we're on, you know? So if you're going...
If it's new, why wouldn't you receive it as exciting? It's new, it's exciting, it's fresh. Why would you receive it as it's new and it's intimidating? That's the question.
Because it's different.
And I think men are almost more aware of our power and strengths than we are. So
then for it to be different, you acknowledge then that men are clearly in a seat of more power.
I think men know, well, majority of men know that we're in a different, again, position of power for sure. And it is, I think, intimidating. I think it's just in society as a whole, we're still going through a transition of, I think men are understanding themselves, you know, and emotions and female energy and all of that stuff. And that plays a part within your role, within our world, you know. So it's happening, and you know, I think there are a lot of great men that are trying to help, you know, us to be together and we're all on an equal playing field, you know. But for men, it's about I'm on top, and not even just on top of females, I'm on top of you as well, you know, because that's also how some of us have been breeded to a certain extent, you know, just in the world and the wider context of stuff, and it just filters through.